All right. Well, I want to welcome you. Welcome Mark Purtee. This is Tampa Business and Real Estate Professionals Network. We are meeting folks within our network and talking about their businesses. So today I have with me Mark Purtee. Mark is a businessman that actually sells businesses with Murphy Business Sales. So Mark, I want you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your business.
Well, thanks, Gary. Appreciate it. Yes, I have the pleasure of helping people buy and sell businesses, is what I do. What's great is I've got the great support of a big company behind me, Murphy Business Sales. We have 170 offices throughout the US and Canada. So that gives me great resources. But yeah, I really enjoy working with individuals to help them fulfill many times a dream of actually owning a business and of their very own. And certainly one encouragement I would give to anybody who's an entrepreneur is to seriously consider buying an existing operating business rather than start from scratch. When you buy an existing business, it already has the infrastructure, has the employees. Most importantly, it has customers. And so you're coming out of the gates, starting your business right away. And the truth is, small businesses, the multiples are not that high, and there's financing available many times for as much as 80 and 90% of the purchase price. So yeah, it's been an exciting journey, and certainly still enjoying it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, hey, and I actually have read some stuff in the just recently. Now, I'm a real estate investor, and a lot of times as a real estate investor, we talk about what we call the silver tsunami. And the silver tsunami is the fact that you've got the baby boomer generation who have been landlords are divesting themselves of their properties because they're retiring, they're getting rid of it, and their kids don't want it. But I think the same thing could be said for businesses, if I'm not mistaken. Would you say that's correct?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, there's a book out called The $10 Trillion Opportunity. And that's the estimate of how much in business values that will change hands just over the next few years because of so many baby boomers who have owned businesses now need to retire.
Wow. $10 trillion. That's amazing. Yeah. All right. So as I said, if you've spent any time with me, you've come to my meetups, if you've seen, been on a podcast or anything with me, you know that I love Endless Referrals by Bob Berg. This is the book that changed my life because it taught me how to network properly. And in networking properly, I mean, build a network that you can use to add value to other people. And so in Bob Berg's book, in chapter 2, he talks about 10 networking questions that work every time. So I'm just going to run down these questions, and we're going to rapid fire questions until we get into a long story, or we get into our time limit. So
okay,
tell us, Mark, how did you get your start in the business of selling other businesses?
Well, I've been an entrepreneur from a young age. My father owned a small construction company. And so by age 19, I'd already formed my own company and had 3 employees working for me and all of that. So started from a young age, went on to school to become a stockbroker, where we analyzed companies and looked at them from different perspective for publicly traded. And yeah, since that time, I've owned a few different companies, which I've sold, and some I've acquired. I used to be in the golf course business, and so I'd look at 100 different golf courses a year and chase 2 or 3 of them. So yeah, so
Awesome.
I've been in the business of businesses for a while.
So what's your handicap? Do you feel like you'd like to
Oh,
share
I'm
that?
I'm a bogey hacker. So yeah, people would have expectations, of course, that you own the golf course, and then when they'd see me swing, they'd realize I didn't get into it because of my golfing abilities. I'm a money.
That's awesome. So tell me, what do you enjoy most about your profession?
Helping others have success. Helping them understand the process of how they can acquire a business, or in the other side where they've put their life into a business and now they can enjoy that day where they can sit back and not have to show up at 7 in the morning and run the thing. So yeah, that's the best reward of all is enabling people, other people have success.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What do you feel separates you and your company from the competition?
I really do think that having the background of having owned a business and been in their shoes makes a big difference. I don't just come at this like a salesman of wanting to sell you on the idea of either buying or selling business, but I do think I really do understand the emotions, the risk that you have to take, the challenges as a business owner. So on both sides, I can certainly understand where the seller is coming from. But I like to think I really listen and pay attention to buyers as well. And more times than not, I guide them away from a business because I don't think it'll be a good fit for them.
Wow, it's good. So not just out to get the first thing that they'll buy, right? That's
No, I
really
want them to
awesome.
have success.
Yeah, that's great. So, what advice would you give someone that wanted to get started in your business?
Uh, Probably learn how to read financial statements.
Mm,
Understand that is the key source. As far as getting financing, and by financing, I mean we get bank financing. I get most all my listings pre-approved for SBA backed financing.
mm,
Um, the key thing though is I really can understand a business just by looking through their tax returns. And I
mm,
think if you're running a business, you need to be in that same situation. You need to understand, yes, nobody wants to pay more taxes than they have to. And you can do that legitimately if you understand how the system works. And also understand your monthly financial statements. That's the scorecard of where you're at. Um, and so I think that would be an important tool is really understand the financial statements.
So that time that you spent in the stock market studying businesses that you wanted to invest in, that really plays well into this model now, right?
It really does. And of course, publicly traded companies are quite a bit different than small businesses. But a lot of the ratios are still the same way. And it's still the same process of looking through what has this business done historically. And looking through the financials, many times you can see where the weak spots are too, where they're not spending enough on advertising, or they're spending too much on labor, or too much on rent, or vice versa, where they need to expand. So there's a lot in those statements that tells the story of the business.
Wow, that's awesome. So, what one thing would you do with your business if you knew you could not fail?
Well, actually, that question is interesting because it's saying what am I afraid of that I would fail? And Gary, be honest, I've had plenty of failures through my long life here,
We don't
and
call them failures, we call them seminars.
okay, seminars, lessons, whatever, character builders, whatever you label you want to give it. And that is part of it. And if you don't have the stomach for that, you really don't need to be an entrepreneur because
Mm,
really and truly, you're going to face those challenges along the way
mm,
somewhere. So I'm not saying I am fearless, but I'm pretty good at taking a calculated risk. So.
mm, mm. Okay, what significant changes have you seen in take place in your profession through the years?
Um, Well, of course, with the internet and social media, there's a lot of advice out there, and
Mm,
sadly, a lot of it is not accurate.
bad advice. Yeah.
And so human nature is to believe whatever you heard first, even if that wasn't true
Mm,
and accurate. And so, yeah, there's a little bit of a disappointment when I see things on a LinkedIn post, for instance. It's giving advice about buying businesses, and you just shake your head because you know it's inaccurate, it's not
mm,
complete. Um, and so there's a lot of people wanting to do it yourself kind of thing. So
mhm,
my
mm.
recommendation would be no, get advice from somebody. So,
Yeah, yeah, it sounds like it good. Um, what do you see coming in the near future in this business? Um,
yeah, I think there will always be a place for someone to help be the intermediary. I don't know if that can be replaced with AI. And of course, we're regulated by the real estate business. To sell businesses in Florida, you have to have a real estate license. So we have to follow all those same rules. So I'm
that
still subject to the changes that are occurring in that industry right now. as far as how
Interesting.
to
Now, is
handle
that
money.
all over the country that you have to have a real estate
It's
license?
not all over the country, no. Most states, though, you have to have a real estate license. But part
Interesting.
of the justification for that is they didn't want to create a whole new category just to handle business brokers.
Mm,
Uh, and more important than that, typically when you're selling a business, you are involved in real estate in one fashion or another, because even if you're simply helping to negotiate a new lease for that new owner, that requires a real estate license. So, and
yeah.
many times, of course, we prefer to actually sell the real estate with the company, which has
Mhm.
great advantages as well.
Yeah. Oh, no, that makes a lot of sense. And a lot of people don't look at it this way, but if you think about it, if you're an investor and you're buying and selling rental properties, you are buying and selling businesses. You're buying
That's
a
right.
rental property is just a business that's
That's
cash
it.
flowing, and you have to take care of the property and
Yeah.
find tenants for it, find your customers and all that kind of stuff too. So it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So this is a fun one. Describe the strangest or funniest incident you've experienced in your business.
Oh, gosh. Without throwing anyone under the bus.
Nope, no
So,
names, no names.
no, I would say even just last week, I'm working with a buyer. It's a couple, and they want to move to Florida, which is one of the great benefits all of us have. I tell you, we have tons of people who want to move to Florida and buy a business, not only from within the United States, but also from abroad. So that's a real plus. Anyway, I'm trying to help these people who want to move out of California and come to Florida instead. And so they suggest businesses that they're interested in. They send me, they find them on BizRep, which is the #1 site for businesses. And they'll send me ones and I'll research them and get back to them. And they sent me a smoke shop that they were interested in. And, so again, no judgment. Our company has sold some dispensaries. We've sold smoke shops, all that. But I asked them why. Why was that of interest? And she said, well, because her husband enjoys an occasional cigar. And so I had to remind her that I don't think this smoke shop has anything to do with selling cigars. You'll be quite disappointed. So
Yeah, it's not a cigar bar.
no. So we moved on.
That's awesome. All right. And what ways have you found to be the most effective for promoting your business?
Without a doubt, it's referrals.
Mm,
I'm in a business of trust.
mhm.
No one's going to hire me because I offer them a coupon or anything like that. You really have to trust that I know what I'm talking about and that I'm going to have your best interest at heart. And for that reason, the referrals really are the best. And that's true for us company-wide.
Mhm.
In our company, we track where our business comes from, and the vast majority is referrals. So.
Nice. Awesome. And so what one sentence would you like people to use in describing the way that you do business?
Well, I would say that I will walk them through the entire process from beginning to end and give them guidance along the way, help point out the potential pitfalls that they need to be aware of, try to emphasize what are some of the risk factors involved in that industry, so that they're well prepared again to have success. So.
Awesome. Awesome. And then last question. If I'm talking with someone, how can I know that that person is a perfect referral for you?
If they're considering either buying or selling their business, or they have curiosity about, well, what's the value of my business as well, that would be somebody that I would want to talk to. And to be candid, of course, some businesses just are too small to make sense. My fees become too much, to be candid about it. But anybody interested in looking at a business that I get referred to, I always try to help them out. Even if that help is, hey, here's the steps you need to do, and here's some of the things you need to look for, and what the process might look for you. So
Nice. All right. So Mark, tell us if someone sees this and they want to get in touch with you, what's the best way that they could do to get in touch with you?
you can reach me directly on my cell phone at 727-518-5620. And so you can text there or call. My website is just my name, Mark Purtee, MarkPurtee.com. So markpurtee.com puts you to my website.
Awesome. So cell phone or website. Great.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I want to thank you for coming on and talking about your business, Mark. It's been a pleasure interviewing you, getting to know you some. And I just want to say, if you want to meet Mark in person, I met Mark. You may be able to meet him where I met him. And that's the Tampa Business and Real Estate Professionals Network. We meet the second Tuesday of every month, and we are at the Dave and Buster's Arcade. It's in Tampa, East Tampa. A lot of people think that it's in Brandon, but it's in East Tampa. Don't go to the Dave and Buster's bar downtown. I don't know how they get away with a bar name with the same thing as Dave and Buster's, but they do, and we have had some people get confused. But we meet there second Tuesday of every month at 6 p.m. That's where I met Mark. That's where maybe you can meet him there too. So I want to invite folks to come and visit us there. Mark, it's been a pleasure. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Gary. Look forward to seeing you at the next meeting.
All right.
All right. Thanks.
Okay, and